Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. Glad to have you here, but it's the audio edition as you would expect. This is for people who want to exercise their imaginations because that's what listening as opposed to watching will do for you. Your mind conjures up all kinds of things, makes it much more effective. And of course, this is also a presentation that is designed for the multitasker in you. In other words, you can take a look on the screen. We have a static picture of the cards, the tarot display for today. You can get up, then get yourself a cup of coffee, a sandwich, some cereal, do whatever additionally you want to do, and still listen to the tarot read and let your mind fill in the blanks. Because ideally, that's what this whole experience should be, is to excite and empower your imagination. Because if you can see it, you can get it. That helps in manifesting. So let's get to the read for today. You see it up on your screen. We start at the top. We go to the bottom row. Top, dead center, we have higher power. That's the oracle card. Higher power. That's the energy for today. Good stuff. Good juju. Higher power. Okay. So you may have to use your imagination on this a little bit, but you are connected to a higher power. Call it 3D, 5D, whatever you want to call it, doesn't make any difference. But you do have some sort of a spiritual connection, not just to the world, but to the universe. It gets to be a little overwhelming for us, so we don't always follow it, on top of which you are never really conditioned to not just believe in a higher power, but to activate it. See, to activate the higher power makes you dangerous because then you can think and feel for yourself. That is not acceptable. Should be no more obvious than in the last couple of years. You do not think for yourself. We tell you what to think, we tell you what to feel, we tell you what to do. Sheep. Well, if you believe, truly believe in a higher power, and better yet, are connected to it in a way that works for you, yeah, you're kind of a threat to the establishment, because you're fully capable of carrying on your own. So let's take that energy, that positive juju, that higher connection. Let's move on. Upper row, all the way to the left, Two of Cups. You got a decision. Two of Cups, very often, is considered about partnership, connecting. Well, it's also about trust. It's about happiness. It's about attraction. And as you well know by now, in the early days of tarot, it was about a decision. Twos are always about a decision. This or that. Two things that are attractive to you, and you got to make a decision between the two of them. In this case, when we're doing higher power as the overriding energy, I am thinking that the decision has to be, do I tap in or do I tap out of higher power? Because connecting to higher power is a little inconvenient, maybe a lot inconvenient, depending on your life situation. Because it really means that you may have to rock the boat. You may have to walk away from people you know, ideas you know, institutions that you have believed in. Or you could just stay the way you are. You're not happy, you're not satisfied, you're not fulfilled. Life is just round and round and round, going nowhere, fast. But that's the decision. Two things that you are familiar with, and familiarity very often means that we interpret it as being in love or connected or something like that. So a decision, tap into your higher power or not. Next to the Two of Cups, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, very interesting lady, like all swords, gets to the point. Very perceptive, straight talking, straight thinking. Now she's fair, she's just more cerebral, not as emotional. That may be the stumbling block for you to make that decision. We were just talking about the Two of Cups, talking about higher power. Higher power, it doesn't work really well with black and white oftentimes. You know, it's not something that is tangible, that you can touch, that you can pick up, that you can hold. And that creates a little bit of a problem. Queen of Swords says, she's one of those people I will believe it when I see it. And what the higher power card says, you got to believe it before you see it. Hence the Two of Cups, the decision. Which way do you go? Well, let's move to the right side of the upper part of the read. It's the Tower. Tower does not always have to be bad. I think the Tower, more often than not always, but more often than not, talks about whether we allow for change or we don't. If we don't allow for change, the Tower can be devastating. Now, sometimes that is taken out of our hands. There have been several things done over the past couple of years that have been devastating to a whole bunch of people, and to an extent, it was out of their hands. Okay? So they got nailed pretty well. So the idea is with the Tower, it's sudden change. It's a wake-up call. Maybe it's a false sense of security sometimes too. And that's what the last couple of years has been for a lot of people. Oh, yeah. Well, they told me I believe. They told me, oh, yeah. They wouldn't lie to me. Oh, yeah, they would. Oh, yeah, they would. And because you did not take responsibility and really look behind their words, this false sense of security arrived, hence the Tower is the wake-up call. Top card, or a card on the right side, top row, it is Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords, on the surface, appears like a hollow victory, right? You sacrificed integrity, power-hungry, conflict. That's been going on in the world always, but the last couple of years it's really come to light. And so the question is, you see in the card, if it's a rider weight card, I like them best because they're simple, clean, direct. Here you have a guy picking up swords and claiming victory. Now, he hasn't done anything, but he's claiming victory. You could look at it in another way, too, and that is the guy who's picking up the swords is saying, no, I'm going to think things my way. I'm going to look and research and do whatever it takes. I'll take responsibility, but I'm going to figure out what I believe in, what I think, and I'm getting out of the game. I think that's more the issue than anything else. That goes back to the idea of the divine connection, divine or higher power, or our basic card, Two of Cups, decision, Queen of Swords, really looking, not deluding yourself anymore, not lying to yourself anymore. I think that's the big one. We talked Tower moment, because if you lie to yourself, as many people have, especially over the past couple of years, you get horrendous consequences. So I'm thinking the Five of Swords here says, okay, I know what the truth is for me. That's it. I'm done playing the game. I'm moving. Goodbye. Adios. Bottom row. King of Wands or Knight of Wands. Knights always bring presents, right? So he brings confidence, courage, passion. That's what you want to begin to grab into. You want to grab onto this higher power. You want to grab into a positivity and enthusiasm in life. Again, what that's going to mean, the next card over, Four of Swords, you're going to have to stop thinking so much. Still keep thinking. You got to manipulate through the 3D, certainly, but back off on the thinking. That gets you in trouble because, boy, they get you going round and round and round. Well, there's this and there's this and there's this, and then before you know it, I've often said, you want to confuse somebody, give them more than one choice. More than one choice. It reminds me of a story, and I'm not picking on gals, but my wife is really good. If she goes into, let's say, a shoe store, because women love shoes. She goes into a shoe store. She knows what she's looking for. She's pretty good going there, picking it up, and moving on. But if something catches her eye and she goes, ooh, those are nice too. Oh, look at, all of a sudden it all breaks down. She can't make up her mind. Lost. More than one choice. I think that's the situation here. Four of Swords means that you're just getting confused, and there's too many choices, too many tubs of slaw, as Monty Python used to say. And I think that's the case here. We move over to the next card, not the middle one, but the one just to the right of that, and that is the Four of Wands. Here you see a guy looking out to the horizon. It's a bright horizon. He's got three wands. There's entrepreneur spirit, certainly, but he's pursuing the unknown. He's a visionary. He sees a much better future, and that's what you can do, and that will help you tap into the higher power. But you got to get a different angle on it, and that's what the hangman is all about. In other words, you really have to get to a point of deciding, are you just going to be a spectator with the higher power that is around you, or are you going to be a participator? That's going to be a difficult question because there are, in your mind, pluses and minuses to both sides. That's what is stopping the whole thing. Going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Thankfully, we got the card in the middle, vice versa, facing forward, the Sun card. Yes, it's illumination, it's clarity, it's success. You can tap into your higher power that is around you all the time. Just don't think yourself past it. Your thoughts are going to confuse you. I'm not saying that you stop thinking. That's not my point. Realize that you can connect to a higher power. Realize that you are a 5D person as well as a 3D. And make the decision to actively, consciously tap into that most important empowered that surrounds all of us. That's the higher power. That is your ultimate connection. But again, you have a choice. You can opt in, opt out. I wish you well. So that's the tarot read for today. Have another one for you tomorrow because I do a brand new one every day, 365. Hope you're with me. But between now and the next time you and I manifest tarot together, peace and blessings.